the ZX10 Masters Cup action is proudly brought to you by Sunbet, Red Square, NGK Spark Plugs, Bridgestone Tyres and Kawasaki Motorcycles. Killarney International Raceway, the mother city of Cape Town, and what a way to kick things off for the 2022 season of Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. A great contingent of riders here in Cape Town, joining the local guys and also joining our usual contenders. Let's catch up with a few of them just before in the pre-race conference. And great to see spectators back at Killarney.
Dave Enticott's home turf for you. No pressure really, but I'm sure you are looking forward to this one.
I definitely am, Dave. It's going to be a tough weekend. There's a lot of new faces in the paddock. They're definitely bringing their A-game by the looks of the practice timetable today. Best of luck to all the riders. I'm glad we're here.
And good luck to yourself as well. The Fries Fritz, all the way from the Free State in Welkom. Welkom in the Free State, I should say. Looking forward to it?
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. It's quite a challenging track for myself. But yeah, I'm getting there every year. It's a bit better. I'm on a new bike now. It's a 2017 RR. So we're sorting it out and we're trying it.
Great to have you here. Really fantastic to see you all the way from the Free State. Now, Ronald Slamet, been off the bike for a little bit, and now you're back in the saddle, and I've got to say, looking good.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for us. I think, like you said, we're back riding again, and it's an amazing championship to be a part of. So hopefully this home ground advantage will give us the advantage that we need to go up with for the rest of the calendar up country. So yeah, looking forward to an exciting weekend and racing with the guys.
Can I ask you one thing?
Yes.
Will you look after our GoPro, please?
Tough job, but I'll do my best.
You don't get much more laid back than Henk Scaling. Let's catch up with him, if we can get him to wake up.
Henk, back at Killarney in front of spectators, and I notice you've cleaned your bike this time as well.
Has to be done now and then, eh?
Because it carries extra kilos with this dust.
Especially the dove poo.
But Henk, tell us about Killarney. How are you going around here?
Yesterday was good, the second session after changing sprockets and dropping the forks a bit. More stable now. Probably in place with the smaller sprocket at the back.
But you're confusing everybody by talking that technical stuff. I'm talking about, are you fast?
No, not compared to the other guys.
Bye-bye.
Always last minute preparations that have to be done. One man had to do it very early on, getting here late in the day, Ian Harwood.
Morning guys, Ian Harwood here. Welcome to the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. First round Killarney. Going to be a good day. We're going to go out there and have some fun.
Great news for the circuit. The city of Cape Town has renewed their lease, and great to have local support here from the council getting behind the city and behind the circuit for future events.
It's also important that we consider the social impact, how you are bringing people in to come and experience this multi-purpose world-class.
Strong contingent of Cape Town riders. Let's catch up with them before the first race.
Super happy to be here. Fantastic weather. Expectations are reasonably high today. We've got two guys in front of me. I qualified third. Definitely going to have my work cut out for me today. Going to push hard in race one. Hope for the best.
An awesome day in Cape Town. First race back after my big crash at Swartkorps. Body's still a little bit sore and yeah, not as fit as I should be, but looking forward to a good race and going to fight hard to try and finish in at least first place in the extreme vets. So looking forward to a good race and enjoy the race out there, guys.
Excited about the weekend. It's good to be back on a bike. Haven't been riding for a while, but good to be back. The team and I are working really hard to, just to take the advantage of this home ground advantage, and hopefully we can pull out the win today, and have that extra points in the bag for the rest of the season going forward.
The spark plugs all sorted out with NGK. The Bridgestone tyres are on the Kawasaki's, and they're about to roll out for the very first time in 2022. And it's good to see that not only the local contingent, but the usual contenders in ZX10 Masters Cup are ready to go. It's going to be a tough battle out there because when you come down to Cape Town, particularly if you're a new rider, it's going to be a big opening and a big eye-opening event for you. And the most important thing, of course, is to find a Cape Town rider and follow him around. because they've got some special lines around the circuit. As they come to roll to the grid, let's have a look and see how things are going to line up here for the first one. Ronald Slamet was quickest, and we're on board with him as he rolls to the front end there to take up pole position. But it's an all front row made up of Cape Town riders. Alongside him is the killer Westman, Trevor Westman, and then you've got Dave Enticott, who we chatted to in the pre-race conference, looking good. Graham Van Breda, outgoing champion, of course, reigning champion as well, Jason Lamb and Gareth Besaidnout. Then it's all about Rob Craig, Brian Bontekoning, and Johan Leroux. Clint Mutton, Wayne Shelley, and Travis Nordia. And great to see a big contingent of ZX10s join us off the break for race 1 action. Welcome back to action from the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. 5-second board is up. Race 1 about to kick off here. And let's see who's going to have what it takes down towards turn 1. Oh, slam it with a big wheelie off the line. Trevor Westman goes alongside him. Looks like the killer might have got the drop there. No, he hasn't. We're on board with Graham Van Breda in 3rd place, possibly 4th place, as he gets swamped by the Cape Town contingent. Rob Craig sneaking up on his inside, and around the outside was Enticott. So the reigning champion just getting drowned out big time there by the Cape Town boys as they went down into turn 1 for the first time. He's in 5th place at the moment, looking for an opportunity to try and get back up into the front, and the hunt at the front end is going to be a tough one. There's no doubt about it. He has got some serious contingent on his tail as well. Jason Lamb leads out the rest of the pack. Right behind him, look out for Brian Bontekoning, who's going to come through there on the Jag Power Products machine. And then look at the start there from Wayne Shelley. Massive improvement coming out of Wayne Shelley here in the ZX10 Masters Cup. First time out there as well for a couple of riders, and great to see them coming in there. Byron Rothcourt being one of those riders who's now in the mix and getting used to what is going to be ZX10 Masters Cup for 2022. Out front though, the killer Westman leads things out. Slamet's down to 2nd. Enticott into 3rd place, and right on his tail is Rob Craig. They start to line things up there, and in the background, watch out for some maneuvers coming through there from Gareth Besaidnout. Didn't have quite the start he wanted. He's going to have to try and make up some ground as they come through Fostron for the first time and about to complete lap number 1 in anger. Absolutely nothing in it for those first 4 bikes on track, and the Cape Town boys are showing the rest of this field the way around. Oh, well, look at this. It's great to see Graham Van Breda, GVBD, closing on the back end there of Rob Craig, and now looking to try and run. Exactly what I said earlier on. Find a Cape Town man and follow them around. They've got some special lines around here, and you'll get your lap times down at least by 2 or 3 seconds in race pace. Jason Lamb's right on his tail, and Jason Lamb pushing on. Oh, Ruin Oberholz off the circuit down into turn 1. Holzhoek catches a lot of motorcycles out in its time, and it's caught out Oberholz, unfortunately. He's back on track, but he's probably about 2 or 3 bike lengths and a couple of seconds behind the last rider on track, and that would be Jonathan Sherwin or Lafras Fritz. They were fighting hard for the final positions on circuit. We're back on board here with Ronald Slamet, the Red Baron, as we go out of Malmesbury and down onto the back straightaway for the first time. Now on a ZX10 Masters Cup bike, by the time you get onto the anchors at the end of the straight, it's close to the 280 km/h mark. Then you climb down and bang down the box into about 3rd gear to go onto the banked corner here at Fostron. And that's exactly what Graham Van Breda is trying to do now. Use that banking to his advantage and close the gap down on Rob Craig there for the 4th place battle. Great battle between the two of them. Enticott's all on his own, some in 3rd place. And then there's a bit of a drop down to Jason Lamb. Behind that, Bontekoning. And Bonte has not been able to bridge that gap to the front end there of Jason Lamb. As they come down onto the brakes, you can see Lamb just in the background there. Bright yellow helmet, quite easy to spot him in amongst the rest of the riders. And they come out of Holzhoek. The top 2 now getting away. Slamet has opened up a little bit and definitely starting to close that gap down on the lead man, Trevor Westman. But Westman in Cape Town at the front end of a superbike race is a very difficult man to beat. His nickname is the Killer, and he's definitely a man to watch out for. Coming through there as well, Clint Mutton. Clint Mutton also with some problems of his own there with Wayne Shelley right on his tail. As I said, Shelley with massive improvements down here this weekend. Great to see that little battle. Travis Nordia not too far behind them. The East London-based rider is right up there looking for opportunities to get through if possible. And you can see Ian Harwood just in the background off the end there. And incredible to think, Ian Harwood's only had a qualifying session this morning to get everything set up for the race bike that he's on today. He got in very, very early this morning, had some business to sort out, and the man from Bridgestone and TRP is now in the mix and fighting it for a possible top 10. They come across the line once again. It's Westman from Slamet, and then a gap down to Enticott. No change up there for 4 and 5 as we thought might happen, but you can see in the background there's a bit of a charge coming on there from Graham Van Breda to close things down on Craig, but Craig for now is keeping him out. Top 2 starting to mix it up a little bit. Let's see whether Slamet's got something special up his sleeve. He probably won't show it too soon because he knows Trevor Westman will come straight back at him. In the mid-pack, also looking to see other riders coming through there. Bit of an issue there for Gareth Besaidnout. Didn't quite have the start he wanted, and it doesn't seem to be going his way. He's dropped down to 9th place and is just the first bike in single digit at the moment. Further up the field, you can see the two leaders heading into Malmesbury. We're going to go back into the battle for a little bit further back. And Byron Rothkell now in the mix there. Oh, look at that. Henk Scaling being swamped big time as they went through there. It's a great little fight there for the latter part of this one. And we're on board with Scaling as they go through the kink and down towards turn 3. It's into Dam Split they go. And you can see that Scaling is looking for opportunities when they open up here. It's going to be an easy day in the saddle there for him, that is for sure. But I'll tell you something, Henk Scaling is certainly fired up. We saw him when he woke up after the interview that he's up for the challenge today. Harwood also up for the challenge, fighting with Rothkell. These two have had a couple of battles in their time. Not in ZX10 Masters Cup, but on other categories that run in the northern regions. But fantastic to see Byron Rothkell stepping into ZX10s for the very first time there on that Magic bike. This is Munton versus Shelley. Oh, fantastic battle there. Battle of the fours, in fact, because you've got 14, 74, and 84 with Travis Nordia just behind that. And the 24 bike of Ian Harwood, not too far behind that as well. So I think number 4 at some stage on your motorcycle in ZX10s is not a bad idea to have in terms of your race number and race choice number. But right now, it's all about Munton, keeping them out. And he, of course, is trying to keep them in numerical order if he can, in terms of the power of 4. Munton from Shelley as they go down into turn 3. No worries at all there for him. You can see that Munton is controlling things there. Oh, a big moment there for Shelley. Little step out of the saddle, but he managed to just hang on to it. Very lucky to survive that one. Here's Van Breda's point of view closing on Craig. Can he get into the slipstream? He's right there looking for a chance now to go onto the brakes. Down into turn 5. Fostron corner. Does he make it stick? Yes, he does. Dives up the inside of Rob Craig and makes it stick into Fostron corner. That is exactly what the reigning champion wants. As he comes across the line, as he now moves himself up into 4th place. Can he do anything about trying to close down on Anticott? I think Dave Anticott is too far up the road now, and there's probably not enough time for him in this first heat. Slam it on the tail now of Westman. Can he find a way through there on the Killer? Killer versus the Red Baron. This is a battle that rages almost every single time motorcycles get on track here in Cape Town, and they've been fighting with each other for a long, long time of these two boys. Now stepping up officially into the ZX10R Masters Cup for the first time. We saw a little bit of an entry to it last year with Westman, and Slammer definitely showed interest, and now he's there full time. Battle just behind that is definitely raging. Look at the way we're seeing some maneuvers coming through from the 44 bike, and all of a sudden Johan LaRue has joined that battle for the 4. So the 44 now into the mix with 14, 74 and 84. It's great to see that. Absolutely amazing stuff. But as I said, Shelley is a big surprise here in Cape Town. Didn't expect to see that kind of pace. Anticott still in 3rd. No worries at all for him. Clean and clear ahead of Graham Van Breda, and I don't think Van Breda is going to have an answer. But at the front end, we just saw them go through the shot there. Keep an eye out on Ronald Slammett. He is definitely looking for a chance to be at the front and lead things out over Westman. Cape Town 1, 2 and 3 at the moment. It springs in 4, but right on his tail is the 4th Cape Town rider, Rob Craig. And that Mad Max bike is going so well, and I think Rob Craig could possibly have not finished up yet with Graham Van Breda. The two leaders come into turn 2. Great to see them fighting as hard as they are, and of course putting on a show here for the crowd. Great to see spectators back at a racetrack as well. Change up there between Johan LaRue. He's got ahead on the Abadan bike, just ahead of that Shop 74 Kawasaki of Wayne Shelley. The two riders now swapping a little position here and there. Will Shelley be able to come back at the number 44? I'm not quite sure if he's able to do that. This is Ronald Slammett's point of view as they come up on a back marker. That's Ruan also that they go flying past. And now he's in the slipstream. Can he get through? They go side by side. Oh, this is brilliant. Ronald Slamett and Trevor Westman, everything they've got. 6 gear and whatever that Kawasaki can give you down that main straightaway, and a change up for the lead. So Slamett hits the front for the first time. The Red Baron takes the lead of the race with Trevor Westman right on his tail now. Westman probably going to look to try and run with Slamett if he can. If Slamett can drop the hammer here, he needs to, because I don't think he can hold off or fend off the attack coming from Trevor Westman. As they come onto the brakes there, blue flags waving for Oberholzer, just warning him that Anticott is coming along for the ride as well. The 3rd place rider about to catch the back marker after that off earlier on in the race that we saw. He's been able to get back on track, but he hasn't been able to bridge the gap to the back end of, sort of tail end of the field. Slammet now on board as he runs a little wide into turn 2. Does that open up a door for Westman? It does. Westman dives on the inside. Oh, and a big moment there for Trevor Westman. Woo, that was the back end stepping out there. That Bridgestone was crying out saying, no, Trev, you can't put me through that much hell through turn 2. But he just was able to hang on, and this is the final lap. So can he keep it all together now for 3 more corners? He's got to go through the double right-hander at Malmesbury. It's almost a double right-hand at the end of the straight as well, with that big sweeping and banked hairpin at the bottom down at Fostron, and that's where they're headed right now. There's a little bit of slipstream effect coming in there from Slammet, but Trevor Westman will be well aware of that. He'll be late on the brakes into Fostron corner, and he does exactly what he needs to. Oh, this is so tight. 60 versus 68. The battle of the 6s at the front end. The battle of the 4s further back. And as they come to the line, is it going to be Westman? It looks like he's got the drive. Slammer's going to come alongside and have a go, but checkered flag is out. And the killer Westman takes the first one. Trevor Westman wins out over Ronald Slammett. And Dave Entercott makes it 1, 2, and 3 for Cape Town. And in the background, I think Rob Craig, just got through to beat Graham Van Breda to the line. So it's Cape Town 1-4. Van Breda in 5th place. Jason Lamb ahead of Johan Leroux. Gareth Besaidenote, Clint Mutton. And a great drive there from Clint Mutton to finish up in the top 10. Ahead of Travis Nordia, Ian Harwood, and Brian Rothwell. First time out, lucky number 13, with Aubrey Murray in 14th.
Oh, it's such a brilliant race. So obviously with Ronald qualifying and Paul and me in second, I knew I had my hands full there. But yeah, right through the weekend now I've been doing the entire session lap after lap and feeling super comfortable towards the end of the race. So I had a really good start, which was really good. And then just controlled the race from there, and I just put my head down and I was really in tune, enjoying my Project 60 Wayward powered machine. And yeah, brilliant. Can't wait for race 2.
Let's go from Trevor the Killer Westman to Ronald Slammett, the Red Baron, in 2nd place, and see how his first race went.
Well, not the result we wanted. P2 in race 1. Had a bad start in the beginning of the race. Trevor Westman then ended up getting the whole shot, led the race. And I was just there waiting to find where I can make a move, get his weak points. But I think I waited just a bit too long. Tried to make a move, I think on the 6th lap. Made another mistake and he got back at me. And out of the last corner to the run to the finish line, had a huge high side, almost lost the bike, but ended up being a very close race. So I'm excited for race 2. Need to fix the mistakes I made, so hopefully we get a P1 in race 2.
Time for some Red Square refreshment. Join us off the break for race 2 action. Welcome back to action from the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup in Cape Town. Round 1 of the Extreme Festival and race 2 now of the Sunbet ZX10 Masters 2022 season. Last bit of preparation for a couple of guys and a couple of changes to some of the bikes. Looks like Van Breda might be doing something to that motorcycle as well to try and up his pace ever so slightly and catch the Cape Town contingent. Those first 4 riders across the line in race number 1 were difficult to do. We're on board with Henk Scaling as he looks down the road to see what's going to happen here in race number 2. We've got to on board both front and back on Scaling's bike. Don't let us down, Henky. I'm sure you won't. As that 5-second board and Lollipop Man makes their way off the circuit, we are now under starters' orders. The lights will go on. As soon as they go off, we'll be making our way down towards Holes Hook for the first time. Much better start this time from Ronald Slammett. Also a great start coming out of Jason Lamb. And look in the background, Bontekoning coming around the high side and into turn 1 on the opposite side of Graham Van Breda, and outguns Van Breda into turn 1. Bontekoning with a superb start. The top 4 all from Cape Town as they were in the first one. And this time out, just the change up being the fact that we've got Rob Craig up into 3rd place and already being hounded there big time. A big dive on the inside coming out of Jason Lamb. Fantastic start there from him. He just leads out the second pack of riders as they head through the kink and down towards turn 3. Brilliant manoeuvring there, and you can see Van Breda battling a little bit there. I wonder if that change has gone the right way or possibly the wrong way there for GVBD. We'll wait and see. Besaidenote certainly with a little bit of a better start as well. Now up into possibly top 5 contingent there as he heads up into Malmesbury, just tucked in behind that full field of Cape Town riders. I think every rider in this field except Graham Van Breda and Gareth Besaidenote comes from Cape Town. No doubt about it. There's a lot of them out there. Whoa, what a move there. Graham Van Breda's on board and flying past him. There's definitely an issue here. There's definitely a problem here on Van Breda's mic. There's definitely something not going right here according to plan. And whatever they did in the change-up between race 1 and 2 is not working. GVBD is just falling by the wayside here, and the reigning champion is not having it his own way. Even Johan Leroux diving through on him there and finding a way through into Frostron corner. Let's keep an eye on that bike and see what's going to happen there with Van Breda's point of view and what's going to happen with him in the race. Will he be able to finish up in the top 10 and secure some points? That's all he's going to try and do. It's survival mode there for Van Breda at the moment. Look at that, dropping down almost into 14th place at this stage. Might be able to come back from that one. Rob Craig changing up there with Entercott. Nice little fight between the two of them, and they're losing a little bit of ground there ever so slightly between themselves and the top 2 again. We're on Henk Scaling's bike now, looking straight back into the 67 of Jonathan Sherwin. And you can see just how hard he's having to push to try and stay there with Henk Scaling as they come into turn 2. Back to the leaders as they come out of Malmesbury. Fantastic run there from Brian Bontekoning. Bontekoning also with a superb start, as you saw, heading down towards turn 1. The high side and right-hand side of the circuit, and then pitching it across and sweeping across both on Van Breda as well as on the 42 bike there of Jason Lamb. So Lamb and Van Breda going at it. And you can see Jason Lamb trying to come back there. And I can tell you something, Bontekoning has had a big turnaround here. Something has gone right on Bonte's bike to get it this high up and in contention for a possible podium here. Something goes wrong here between Entercott and Craig for 2nd and 3rd place. You've got both Bontekoning and Lamb waiting to pounce. Just behind them, it's Besaid Note. As I said, a better run there from Besaid Note. Then it's Johan Leroux, and once again, he takes up the battle with the fours. This time it's almost a reversal there, almost a reverse grid of what happened in the first race. Munton down behind all three riders he was ahead of in race number 1. So he's got some work to do there to catch not only Johan Leroux, who leads things out on the 44 bike here, but then Wayne Shelley and Travis Nordier. He's just ahead of Munton. And then the Stefanuti Stocks Kawasaki is Graham Van Bedar, the reigning champion, so far down. There's definitely an issue on that bike. You can hear it's not revving right, and maybe a little bit of mental game there as well after the loss of his dad only a couple of days ago. Les Van Bedar is definitely going to be missed here in the ZX10R Masters paddock, and we send our sincere condolences to the entire Van Bedar family. But back to racing, which is exactly what Graham would want us to do, is watching this battle between the 4 bikes. Absolutely brilliant. It's 4 bikes with number 4 on them: 44, 74, 84 and 14, and just behind that is the number 1. And can you believe that? Graham Van Bedar could possibly not even finish in the top 10 here. That's how difficult he's finding it today on that Stefanuti Stocks bike. Absolutely nightmare time here for the reigning champion. He'll have to turn things around. Of course, he comes to Swartkop's, a track that has always gone well with him, and he'll be bringing this big Cape Town contingent and the rest of these riders who found some fantastic pace around the country, including that man Travis Nordier, race winner last year if we recall, and he's now fighting for a single-digit honours there. And the final part of those single digits between himself, Johan Leroux, Wayne Shelley and Clint Munton on his tail. And Munton definitely doesn't want to finish in 10th place again. He'd like to finish up a little bit higher up and in single digits. As they're getting into the halfway stage of this race, we go on board with Henk Scaling a bit further back there. Scaling fighting it out there with Byron Rothwell just ahead of him. And then you can see just, well, we can't see it, but you can hear in the background, there are a couple of bikes itching to get past. One will probably be Aubrey Marais and caping out on Lafros Fritz, who's also in the hunt there for that second pack a bit further down. And we've got veterans, masters and grandmasters to be sorted out here today as well. And everybody fighting for overall honours. Good move here from Travis Nordier. Diving on the inside of Wayne Shelley. Can't quite make it stick though. Sits himself up after going a little bit late and breaks. And a Cape Town corner can always catch you out with that banking. And that's exactly what happened. We're on board here with Slamet, who leads things out. He's ahead of Westman. They wants to return the favour here on the killer. And Trevor Westman will try and come back at him if he can. But Slamet is keeping the door firmly shut and living up to his namesake, that's for sure. Slamming it into turn 2 and not allowing Trevor Westman any opportunity to get past. The same thing can be said here from Wayne Shelley's point of view. He's had a look on a few occasions to get through there, but as you can see, maybe battling a little bit with tyre wear. They're now starting to come a bit wide out of the corners and not able to run the same kind of lines he was earlier on to stay with the pace of the number 44 Avidan bike of Johan Leroux. And we come onto the brakes now, and the top 2 going at it. Look at the gap that they've pulled over 3rd place. Intercott still in 3rd, fighting with Rob Cragg. So the honours in terms of the top Cape Town man could be shared here this weekend if Slamet can keep it all together, and I think that's exactly what he's trying to do. Keeping Trevor Westman behind is not an easy task, that is for sure, and only a couple of laps to go now for these two. As they come down on the brakes, you can see that 68 versus 60 is the battle of the sixes we spoke about. 78 just behind them. Well, he was just behind, but he's dropped way down now. Almost 8.5 seconds down to the 3rd place rider. Further back in the field, nice to see Jeroen Oberholzer this time upright and fighting hard here with Ian Harwood. Jonathan Sherwood in that mix as well. Fantastic to see those three having a bit of a fight there for what is 16th, 17th and 18th place. And then the 4s down into turn 1. This time out a change up as well. Travis Nordier has moved up ahead of Shelley and behind there. We've got 1 lap to go. So, Gareth Poseidon is having a nightmare. He's slowed up in those last couple of laps, and you can see maybe a little bit of development now on that new bike of his to get it all sorted out. But I'm sure by the time we get to Swartkops, that man will be firing. As they come onto the brakes for the final time, it looks like Slamet has done enough here to keep Westman out, and they're going to share their honours 1 for 1 as they head to Swartkops in the very near future to sort out the second round. Both of these riders doing a full season with the ZX10R Masters Cup, and Sunbet are going to be happy to have them on board. As they come across the line, back markers have started their final lap, and the checkered flag is out for Slamet, who takes the win ahead of Westman. Endicott in 3rd, and Cragg making it Cape Town 1 to 4. Jason Lamb in 5 ahead of Gareth Poseidon, who stepped up in the last bit of effort there to get into 6th, ahead of Nordier, Leroux, Munton, and Van Breda eventually in 10th place. Aubrey Marais finishes 11th, Scaling, Rothwell, Fritz Sherwin, Harwood, Oberholzer, and Wayne Shelley with some problems on the last lap. Let's have a look at how it finished up in the classes, with Class A being the Masters, Slamet, Westman and Endicott. Lamb, Van Breda and Aubrey Marais take the veterans, and Johan Leroux, as always, taking the top with Munton and Scaling in the extreme veterans. Let's have a look and see now as the championship heads to Swartkops. It's 45 points apiece there for Slamet and Westman. Endicott in 3rd place, Cragg in 4th, Jason Lamb and Gareth Poseidon. A bit of survival there for Graham Van Breda in 7th place. The Sunbet hamper winner, that goes to Johan Leroux. Rob Cragg getting some honours as well. Great to see that. And of course, the man who shared the honours at the top end, Ronald Slamet, also winning out from the Sunbet side of things. Catching up with Sunbet's Lukhanyo Gwiji now.
I think today was quite an interesting day. The new riders showed up to the party, and I think it is going to be an exciting season ahead. Like I said, you know, the new guys that have been away came guns blazing, and they kind of showed us their potential as well. And with Sunbet being part of this, it's also amazing, exciting, and we're looking forward to the rest of the series.
The next round is at Swartkops on the 23rd of April as the Extreme Festival makes its way back to the home circuit at Swartkops International Raceway. It's time to get your bet on. We'll see you there. All the ZX10 Masters Cup action is proudly brought to you by Sunbet, Red Square, NGK Spark Plugs, Bridgestone Tyres, and Kawasaki Motorcycles.